G'day YouTube, welcome to another episode. Today we're going to talk about what is a step off and how to do a step off. Two questions we get hit up about all the time. So we predominantly sell a lot of gear that specializes in this kind of activity on the water. First thing, a step off is when you're on a jet ski and you're riding a jet ski down a wave and you jump off the ski and then you surf a wave. Ski goes in front of the wave, the ski driver and ski's looking back at the wave, at the surfer surfing, and then you jump back on the sled and get back up on the ski. Step offs are fantastic to do when it's really big and kind of getting a bit difficult to paddle into waves. You also just get a lot more waves, but you know, they're not necessary to do everywhere as well. There's some places you're still going to be better off paddling, but again, if you're somewhere that's uncrowded, you want to get 10 waves in the space of one wave usually. Step offs are so much fun. And it's not just fun for the surfer, it's also fun for the jet ski driver as well. They're quite popular here on the Gold Coast, you just got to make sure you have the right etiquette about it. Now step offs can be a little bit complicated when doing them. As a big part plays in the driver. If anything, it's probably more technical for the driver than it is for the surfer, because you're not going to be able to surf the wave if the driver hasn't put you in the right spot. It's also can be quite dangerous, so use this as a guideline, guys. Like, first thing I'm always going to say when people ask is, how do I learn a step off? Go somewhere that not heaps of people are at. You don't want to be in the middle of a lineup with like 20 skis and you're cutting through, putting whitewash everywhere, everyone's going to flare up at you. So if when you're learning, just go to somewhere that there's not really many people on a bank, and you're gonna feel more comfortable too, because it's not everyone's watching you. It's also a lot more safer doing it that way. So we'll start on being a driver. First thing you wanna do, make sure your trim is all the way up, so your nose high, because when you're riding down the face of a wave, you want your front end, your trim to be all the way up, so you're not trying to nose dive into it. You want your ski to be about 2/3 way up the wave. You don't want to be right up at the bottom of the wave, because what's going to happen is when the surfer jumps off, they've got no speed and you're going to just pretty much bog out. I think actually we got a video from that today, don't we? So you want to be 2/3 way up this wave, and that way you jump off and the surfer can then pump into the wave and maintain their speed, and then you quickly accelerate out. So you don't want to wait till last second when the wave's about to throw as well, because the last thing you want is your ski going over the falls. So make sure you're doing it rather earlier than later. Now with your wash, you don't want to be turning down the wave and etc. and pushing wash into the surfer. So you it's always depending on what kind of wave you're surfing, but if the surfer's going down the wave, let's just say a beach break, you want to go pretty much straight. And if anything, maybe a little bit to the left and then come out to the right, so your wash is not going straight into the surfer. You want to be further away, but that's the key things for the driver. Obviously keep an eye on where you're going, don't just look at the surfer the whole time, there could be someone else in front of you. Now, next thing, once the surfer's back onto the sled and on the ski and you're punching back out the lineup, number one thing I'll tell you, as soon as you're through the lineup, go like 3 knots, not even 6 knots, no wash. If everyone's zooming around out the back, you just create chop for everyone and it's a bit of a shit show. So make sure you come off the plane as soon as you're out the back and just idle around. Don't go cut round to the front of the lineup as well. Wait your turn again. So moving on to the surfer. Now I'm gonna get into the type of gear that you need for step off shortly, but you want your feet on the sides, holding onto the strap, arm under the board. Now you obviously have your leggy on. I hold my leggy in my hand as well. And that way I'm not gonna have it sitting and I'm not gonna trip over it when I jump off. The driver will pretty much, because he can feel the wave, you'll get pretty good at it feeling with the ski too, but the driver will be like, jump now, because he can feel the wave starting to push the ski out of the way. So when he starts to feel that, you know you gotta go. And what you'll do, you'll jump off, go slightly onto your board, like you're actually not like jumping off, you're kind of like skimming off the ski and pushing with your feet away off the rails. Yeah, then you're kind of going into the upright position with your 2 hands and then on the board, and then you get to your feet and then fucking go get barreled. So once you've surfed your wave and hopefully just had the sickest barrel ever, sometimes it's easier actually to ride the whitewater in just a little bit further rather than pulling straight off. It's just easier for the ski to come retrieve you, because if you pull off in the impact zone, it's just harder for the ski to come get you. And then also, you can be in other people's waves. If there's other skis doing step-offs, they're zooming around there as well, and other surfers, so just kind of ride in if you can. Now the gear that you should fit your ski up for doing step-offs. First things first, 100% a sled. You need a good quality sled. Obviously JetTech sleds have been designed for that, used and tested for the very purpose. We got 14 grab handles, heaps of turf, good contact points, but you need these by law as well, and they just make your life so much easier and are way safer. So you climb up onto the sled. What I do as well is I climb up onto the sled, put the board under my arm, I grab from there when it's safe to do so, and then I move straight onto my seat straps. Bringing us to the seat straps. If you find yourself in a difficult situation and your ski goes over the falls, the straps are going to keep your seats locked in. So you can see right now it's not wanting to come off. Air pockets do this all the time and your seat just comes straight off. So that locks in the rear seat there. Our seat straps are universal for all makes and models, not going anywhere. Then the front strap holds the front seat on, but you got a grab handle here. Now this is so important. Like, rather than trying to hold onto your mate's life jacket who's moving around, this strap is not moving. Also, it creates a triangle of strength, like of structure to you. So you're holding the handle. As the ski's going, you're holding your board. It's just so much easier and safer. Next part, turfing your ski. So you'll see predominantly most people will have a sled, straps and turf on their ski. The turf here keeps your traction. When you're jumping off the ski, you're not gonna slide off. If you slip off here, man, that can hurt a lot. So you'll whack your shins, get half run over by the ski, and you could miss the best way of your life. So, and also on the inside, you turf the inside part, that protects your boards as they're sitting on the inside and not damaging the boards and scratching up the ski. Those are the three necessities. You can also run bonnet straps. I've actually made myself a little custom one here, but we do bonnet straps that go right over the hood, or we just run bonnet bungees as well that just add a bit of extra security. So if your ski did roll, reduce the likelihood or make it pretty much impossible for the hood to come open. If the hood comes open and your seats come off, you're pretty much going to say goodbye to your ski. Hood, you've got usually a couple minutes to save it because it takes time for it to fill with water. Seats come off, goodbye jet ski. That's going to be really shit situation. Alright, so that's a bit of a down low on how to do a step off from a ski. Obviously it's going to take a bit of time getting used to it. You don't want to be a beginner surfer and trying to do this. This is more advanced stuff. You need to know how to read the ocean and obviously drive a jet ski. You don't want to be going first time on a jet ski and a beginner surfer. You're going to be putting yourself and potentially others in danger. Make sure you kick your ski out with the right gear. Guys, if you got any questions, drop a comment in below. Either myself, one of the boys will reply to you, and we're always here and happy to help. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. You.